sustaining our level of intensity and our level of play for 60 minutes. And we also talked about we want to be able to run the football and possess the ability to finish games. And I thought it was evident today that we did that. Those three principles, I thought in all three phases of the game, we played well. With that being said, there's still a lot of things that we have to get corrected. Way too many penalties. We had, I believe, 6 penalties for 75 yards. And those are going to hurt you in close games. But I was really pleased with the men in that room and the men out there on that field, the way that they responded today. And with that, I'll open up for questions. Daryl?
Yes, Coach. Could you talk about the play of Jason Snell today?
And what can you say about this guy? Over 180, I think 180 yards, total yards, 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just says a lot about the depth of this team that our personnel staff has put together over 3 years. He's just a darn good football player. Not only running the football, but catching the football. And I thought our offensive line opened up some nice holes, not only for Jason, but for when Michael was in there.
And Michael, is he? Did you all consider putting him back in the second half, or?
No, when the score went the way it did there in the second quarter, we were not going to put Michael Turner back in the ball game. You know, we had to rely on Jason, some of the things that we had to do schematically, and formationally we had to adjust, because really we only had 2 healthy running backs, and one of them was our fullback in Ovi Mahaley.
Coach, how significant is the groin injury to Michael, and do you anticipate having him available next Sunday?
Tom, I don't think it's significant. He was talking about going back into the ball game. He was cleared to go back in, so I don't think it's going to be anything significant. But I have yet to talk to the trainers and had my post-game meeting with the trainers. But that's my belief.
You got to be pretty pleased with your defense today, man. Holding them to 7. I guess everything outside of that 80-yard run.
I thought that our defense did some very good things. Again, we had an 8-man spacing issue, and when you give up an 80-yard run, it just absolutely chaps you. I know our coaching staff, we'll get that corrected. We can't be giving up those explosive plays in those situations. But all in all, it was good to see some of our young players play. William Moore, in his first start, I thought that he was a very active player, had the interception there right at coming out of the second half, which was a big series for us as a football team. Had another opportunity to make some plays. So, from the naked eye, I know we made some mistakes, and he made some mistakes, but I was very pleased with the way that William handled his first action.
So overall, the play of your defense the first 2 games, I mean, there's only been two touchdowns allowed, and those were 2 big hits, but it seems like you guys have been pretty steady the first 2.
Well, through the first 2 games, and again, it's a long season. This is a young defense that's learning. Coach Van Gorder and his staff, I think, have done a very good job bringing these young guys on, and when guys have to step up and come in and play when a guy goes down, have done a nice job. You cannot give up those, Steve, explosive plays. They're going to come back eventually and get you. They got us, last week, and this week we were able to overcome it. But you can't give up big plays. But they are flying around. They are a fun group of guys to be around, a fun group of guys to coach. And I thought that they've done a nice job for the first 2 weeks. We still have to become more consistent if we want to be the type of defense that we really want to be.
Coach Matt Ryan was able.
They really put the hammer down on the Cardinals too. I think it was
0 for 8 on 3rd down efficiency, and this has been a subject of discussion in this room at other times. It's also something that in the off season, as you guys know, and through the preseason, it has been the #1 emphasis of our defensive staff is for us to be efficient on 3rd down and win 3rd down and limit your exposures to offensive plays. And when you limit exposures to your offensive plays, it helps your chances and enhances your chances of being successful. And we've done a nice job in these first 2 ball games.
Mike, you mentioned about the penalties, and that was that one series where there were like almost 3 in succession on the offensive line. That has to be concerning.
Well, yes, it is of a big concern. You know, we've got to, we want to try to play penalty free. The other concern is that we had, on our side of the ball, we had 2 unnecessary roughnesses. Now, we're going to play on, we're going to play on the edge, okay? I don't know, have to see the tape in terms of if it was a flop or or an unnecessary roughness. But no, you can't go through that sequence like we did there and be as efficient as you want to be as a football team. And it will be definitely one of the many things that we have to address this week as we go through the process of putting this game to rest in the next 24 hours and moving forward.
Coach, what accounts for such a dramatic difference in the offense week 1 to week 2?
Well, I think that we did some things that are more characteristic of the way we play football in terms of the way that our guys played on the offensive side, and and that is playing with a very aggressive style, playing with a very physical style, and I thought that we were the tempo setters in the game today, and I think that's very, very important for any successful team, is that they have to set the tempo and control the tempo.
What is Jerry's injury, and when
I don't know. It looked like something on the lower leg, the way he came off the field, and we'll have a close-in wrap up here in the next hour or so.
when you were without both backs, did you have any doubts you'd be able to sustain that running game that you said was so important?
Well, I don't know that there was concern. I don't know that there were doubts. Felt very confident in Jason Snelling and his ability to run the football, and we had a package in place. We always have a package in place that if we went down to 1 back and it happened to be our fullback, that we have plays that we can run and protections that we can basically operate with in the ball game. So it was a concern, but I never really felt that there was going to be an issue running the football, especially the way that our guys started this game in the way they set the tempo.
Coach, what was different for Matt
Have
Ryan?
more carries this game.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Obi Haley have more carries this game
Then his career. I don't know if that's true, but it was great to see Ovi, Ovi run the football. Ovi is a guy that spends most of his time leading a ball carrier through the hole, and it was good that Ovi had an opportunity to run the ball, and I thought that he ran it very effectively. And I think it shows that we do definitely have some depth on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Coach, what was different for Matt Ryan in particular? He seemed a lot more comfortable today.
Well, I think that Matt had 3 touchdown passes and had 117.3 quarterback rating, and I thought that he operated more effectively. I thought that his accuracy was a little bit better in this ball game, and I thought that when we asked him to do things in the no huddle sequencing, that he did a good job there. And again, all of these young guys, we're a young team that's got a lot of experience. When I say we're a young team that's got a lot of experience, our third year players that were in our first draft class have got a lot of snaps underneath them. But there's still a learning curve that we're going through as a football team, and you're always going through a learning curve. And you hope that it doesn't stay steep. You want your guys to do the things that they're capable of doing all the time. But there is a learning curve. But I thought Matt did a very good job running the offense and operating in the confines that we have in our offensive scheme.
Great, guys.
Right?
Coleman?
Yes.
Coleman's injury, by the way?
Coleman had a knee injury in the game last week, and we made a game time decision that Eric would not play.
I didn't call him in.
Right?